At first they was blind, I think they finally see. I do not care what they talking, it does not bother me. I much rather get my dollars, roll up a lot of weed, exhale all my problems, inhale what I'm supposed to keep. I know they watching, so I'm plotting, ain't stopping, switch the topic. Y'all looking like some coppers, make me hit you with this chopper.
My name is Kimmy Thomas. I am the president and CEO of IGL Foundation, Independent Gaming League, and also Game Heads Productions. Those three were founded by my brother, the late Derrick Thomas. And so what we do is we not only teach gaming in the gaming career paths, but we also create the community through events and different types of tournaments and things like that. And one of our biggest tournaments that we have is NOLA Gaming Fest. Through Game Heads Productions that we have, that's our apparel line and any types of events and media that we produce. We are so excited to just be partnering, with the Game Heads, because it's just a dope collab that has been overdue. And you had to tell the story about how all of that stuff came about.
Facts. We're gonna get to that. I want the people to know more about you right now, because you really like what you doing out here is like, it's needed right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I be seeing you, like, you know, working with the kids and stuff, and the stuff you be doing is like, and not too many people be doing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's beautiful. Like, tell the people where you from though.
I'm not born and raised in New Orleans, but New Orleans is my home, and it has been my home since I was about 16. And so we live over here in Algiers. So this has been home to me. The kids of New Orleans are really where my heart is. And my goal and my purpose is always to kind of lift them up and teach them about what technology, opportunities and things of that are available. And it all is through gaming. If I could get you to game, I could get you to do anything in the world. You know, gaming is how we connect. Gaming is our culture. Gaming is how we actually, you know, bond with another person. It's about the win, but there's a respect in the win. You know what I'm saying? And if we actually, and I feel like gamers are the most harmonious, just, I just think they're such a leader of the pack. And then as gaming is evolving, they're putting it in everything. And that's why it's so exciting to kind of bring these opportunities, because like as technology advances, man, they're opening doors for any and everything. Right now, I've been kind of talking a little bit about AI, avatars, you know, things dealing with robotics. It's all connected to gaming. And if you understand gaming, plus you start learning a little bit of that tech, you will always have a career.
Facts. Like I said, you do a lot. You know what I'm saying? I just want to congratulate you on that. You know what I'm saying? All the things that you continue to do, because you've been doing a lot for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And let's talk about how the gaming league started.
Okay, so I'm gonna rewind years and years ago. My brother, again, he is the initial founder. Derrick is the initial founder. He really was the leader, and he found the concept and things like that. When he was younger, I remember him kind of slinging them CDs and stuff like that, burning CDs. And he was just always that person that had that mindset of what that next best thing was. Man, he was in school slinging things, dealing with Napster. And once he learned Napster and he learned how to use that, he started learning and teaching himself different things. One thing that I was most proud of him was he knew how to code. He knew how to code before it was even popular, like before people were talking about coding.
Yeah, back then. Yeah, back then, that's a lot.
He just learned it, and it came natural. Now, we are nerds by design. We were always aliens. We just never really fit in. And Derrick was my person. That was my person in life. And we always said, man, we're not even from this planet, because the way we think and how we're able to create, man, people would think we're off our rocker or whatever. But anyway, so I'm gonna say Derrick came to me at one point in time because his thing was really gaming. And so he was like, I want to create a place where we can have gaming at. And so through just constant talking and things of that nature, I drew up what he was thinking in his head as far as a Game Heads as far as a Crunch Time Cafe. That was our first business that we opened up. We opened it up in Thibodeau, and that was around, we secured funding around 2010, maybe 2010, I think is when we secured the funding, and then we started building from the ground up. But we were too ahead of our time. Derrick's ideas were just way too advanced. Derrick had these ginormous iPads that were coffee tables during that period of time that were all touchscreen, that you could literally do everything. And I still have not seen those to this day. He went out to New York and paid $10,000 per coffee table for that. He was like, the concept for Crunch Time Cafe was to not only create a haven for gamers, but also make sure that, you know, it's a comfortable environment. He was like, well, what do they like to eat? Well, everybody likes pizza. And then he was like, we definitely gonna make it a cafe, so we got to get the best coffee. Do you know he went to Costa Rica to figure out the best coffee beans to bring to the cafe? He was like, Kim, nobody has these beans. So, and that's what he ended up doing. And he was a visionary. And I mean, we had to close that business because sometimes you're way too ahead of your time. And when you don't have the financial backing, like one of the things that I did with Derrick, I was always the person that did the business and did whatever the logistics were. And then if I got to fund whatever you're thinking, I'm going to do it. I'll stay on somebody's clock just to make sure that my brother's dream would keep going. And so we ended up closing that down, but then he made a whole mobile gaming unit. And that gaming unit, he had welded and everything like that. He really got into the fun and the other aspects to make sure that all kids were entertained with the bounce houses and things of that nature. And so gaming and the tournaments just kept evolving and evolving. And then he was just like, we're going to do NOLA Gaming Fest. And he had the concept and he was like, yeah, we're going to bring gamers from everywhere. And it wasn't about the professional esports players. It was literally about everybody gaming, amateur level, connecting with each other, pure competition, you know what I'm saying? And then making sure that you're rewarding based upon it. And that's how a lot of our events were birthed. So that's kind of how everything happened. And then under the nonprofit arm, he was like, I want to make sure that we educate students in this realm, because if I can get gaming plus the education in all the schools, they'll adopt it and not look at it as something that was bad or a stigma or you know what I'm saying? It was something that people didn't want to be a part of, because you know how older people tend to look at it as just like, oh, you're on that game or whatever. Well, that game can make you money. So, but so that's really how everything kind of came about. And then when my brother passed away in 2019, I remember just the day that it actually happened. When I tell you that was definitely the worst day of my life. But no, I want to say maybe 8 hours after that, because he had a meeting the next day that he was prepping for. I got on that road and I went on that meeting because that was what my brother would want. You know, it was, and that particular meeting was to secure $100,000, which would have helped the organization and helped pay for staff. And we did not get the money because he was not alive, and we had somebody to kind of throw a jab in there based upon it. But nevertheless, it was in me, and I was just like, whatever he wanted to do, I promise you, I'm gonna do it. And that's how I got into this position. I'm a lawyer by trade. I do things all from like anything from campaigning to just business consulting. But I dropped all of that because I wanted to really focus on the gaming aspect. And so that's what I do. I also partner with Heroes of New Orleans, where I work under them as well. And everything is all about the youth. So if you see something on my page, usually it's either a tech hack, it's a business hack, or it's something dealing with our youth. Anything to help our people move forward.
For sure. You definitely do that hard by it. Like I said, I don't see a lot of people in our city do it. Going back to we was talking about first, I want to say, sorry for your loss. You know what I'm saying? Every time I hear you talk about your brother, it like, I don't know, it just give me a motivational feeling. Just, I really wish I had the chance to meet him. That's actually how me and you actually got intertwined or whatever, because I was in talks with him already, which we ain't found out till later that you didn't even know that. Like, I thought you kind of knew, but I thought I maybe told you, but I still have the text too. I'm gonna make sure after we done, I'm gonna send it to you this time. I was supposed to send it to you last time. I'm gonna send it to you today though. I'm gonna show you. We was definitely texting and going back and forth, and when he passed, it was like, it threw me for a loop. I was like, wow, like,
yeah,
because what he was doing, like, when I first started meeting him, I was like, nobody down here doing this. Like,
it was always bigger than him. It was always bigger than him, and he was always like light years ahead of where everybody else was. And I mean, I remember like he used to always so my brother and I, that was the one person I could say I talked to about 11 times or more during the day. That's how much we kind of were intertwined. And we would do business proposals. He'll wake me up at 2 and 3 a.m. be like, all right, you ready to work? All right, we about to work. And then he was also that person, we got motivation, and he would send me motivation from different things. Or he'll be like, Kim, sit down here. We're going to, I want you to watch The Founder. I want you to go look at this. He'll sit with me, and he'll come and bring food and stuff like that. Sit down, and we're about to sit here and watch this. And we would sit and analyze the movies. When it came to strategy, it was like Ocean's 11. And it was kind of like, okay, you got to put the different people in the different spots that have the different talents. And it all went together in such a unique way. So when he passed away, it was, I can tell you, my life changed. I always tell people it was equivalent to running full speed and you lose your left side of your body. It's like, I'm moving, but wait, you know what I'm saying? So there's such a significant piece of me that is lost, but at the same time, it's my driving force too. So I have to keep on running as though I have it, that left side of my body. And if anybody sees me in person, you'll see a full sleeve tattoo on my leg with my brother. And it's dedicated to him being that left side of my body, where my heart is and everything like that. And so, but it allowed me to figure out what purpose was. It allowed me to figure out what vision really meant. And then it also helped me to focus on what would you die for? And then what would you live for? And so those are the things that every single day that's my motivation. So I always tell people, don't get in my way, because you don't know what is actually my motivation. I'll run through you.
Right. Right. That's dope. But you say, that help you find your purpose. A lot of people don't realize that once, because we're not taught those type of things, you know what I'm saying? But like a lot of people don't know that that's like the key to true awakening. Once you focus on your purpose, if you can really find your purpose, like you really going in the right direction. And I'm speaking from experience and also, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times it is painful things that make us, you know, that brings that up out of us. But I just love the way you talk about your brother, and I could tell y'all was real close. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
my heart. That's still my heart. And the funny thing, and I won't get into it too much because I know I don't want people to think I'm crazy, but when you lose someone and you really tap into your inner being, right? And you start really embodying what they thought, you start to hear what they would say. And then you will start to move in the ways that they needed you to move. So for anyone that experiences a loss, I would definitely say, man, if you take a moment, and this can be through meditation, this could be through prayer, this can be take all that hurt, take all of that pain, that anguish, that loss, bottle it up and focus and allow silence to cover you. And when you have that silence that covers you, you will start to hear them. And when you start hearing them, man, those answers are still out there. You don't let death end your run with them. So
Facts. Look, she just gave y'all some great advice just now, like, cause like she said, energy never dies. Like that energy is still there, and you can still use it. Like, and you know you're not crazy when you say that. You actually giving them some real advice. Like anybody who tell y'all otherwise is crazy, and I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. What's the thing that drives you to go the way you go so hard for them kids, man? Because you go so hard for them kids, like for real, like you do. And you know, down in New Orleans, man, they need that, man. And like, what drives that? Like,
so there's a lot of different things that are the driving force for me. I could tell you the first one is, so I'm not originally from New Orleans, right? I was born in Missouri. We lived in Chicago. We lived in Connecticut. We lived in Alabama. We lived in Georgia. And then we came here.
That was on tour.
That was my daddy's tour. He used to work for a Sheraton hotel. And every single time that they would open up a new hotel, we would have to move. And then he took a position here in New Orleans under HRI, where he became president of HRI, and then he passed away in 2000. And so you actually still to this day, he ended up opening a Hilton Garden Inn Hotel, which is on South Peter Street. And in that garden, in that little courtyard that they have, you'll see his plaque. It says Myers Lee Thomas in there. But so in moving around, my high school, before I went to Carr, I always represent the illustrious and the Carr University.
Shout out Carr.
Gotta shout out Carr. But before I came to Carr, and this is no knock at Carr, I went to Hoover High School. Hoover High School, a long time ago, they used to have this show. It was called Friday Night Lights. And it talked about the Hoover Bucks and their football team. Well, it showcased the high school that I used to go to. And in that high school, they had driving simulators. There was about 35 driving simulators for driver's education. They had indoor swimming pools. They had lunches that it was equivalent to having like Taco Bell here, plus Burger King right here, a chicken place. Like lined up, and this was lunch. And I say all that to say they gave you every opportunity to succeed because it was an actual city that their main focus was to invest in students, right? The taxpayers, the homeowners, they elected to always invest in students. And so the product of it was you have students that have a high success and high achievement rate, right? And then when coming from Alabama to New Orleans, it was a culture shock because it was the opposite of investing in students. Now, Carr was a diamond in the rough because, they actually tried to do the best that they can. They really, really did, from the teachers that cared about you. I'm talking about teachers that cared about you. The principal, Mr. Heiser, still contacts me to this day. So you got to think, if the principal still is considered family, you got to think Carr, and that's why we have such a great bond, is because that was your family.
Right.
That was your family. But the city as a whole, they just were not investing in kids. When Hurricane Katrina happened, I got the most up-close view because I worked on the side of the Governor's Office of Homeland Security and also on FEMA side. So I saw where they were neglecting certain schools on purpose. I saw where they were investing in certain schools on purpose and with intention. And I saw how it was a disenfranchisement of students. I saw how they were setting students up for failure. And when you start mixing that up with the politics and you start really paying attention and putting this stuff together, y'all are purposely messing over these kids. You're purposely doing it, right? And so what is my driving force with these students is I'm going to invest in you. I care. I care every single day. I care that you get it. I don't like that you have to do certain things, because a lot of the problems in New Orleans is economic. Man, if we could fix the economic portion of it, you wouldn't have this. But they're doing it on purpose. When I tell you it's on purpose, it's so intentional. It's so intentional. And so to know that is almost like walking around with the biggest secret in your gut. And it's almost like if you knew there was a bomb that was about to happen, but you can't totally alarm everyone, you're going to save as many people
as you can.
As you can.
Fair.
That's what it is. That's what's on the inside of me. The bomb is the reality that they're purposely and intentionally doing this to these kids. And
that's
so
crazy.
I have to. I take it on as my personal responsibility because these kids look like me. I have a 14-year-old son. These kids look like me, look like my child. You know what I'm saying? And all they need is the understanding, because sometimes your parents don't understand when they start breaking up the households and things of that nature. Grandma does not understand. You know what I'm saying? You gotta think in how many ways have they broken us up to where they don't understand, and it's up to us to actually care.
Right.
So
because if we don't, nobody else gonna care.
No one else. They will. You gotta think, especially when you talk about non-Black and brown people. They look at us and they say, it's not our responsibility to help you all. You know that, right? And so because it's not our responsibility and you have certain people that have made it, it's really you all's responsibility. So I'm going to take that and I'm going to say, yes, you're absolutely right. It's my responsibility every single day.
Fair. We need way more of that. You know what I'm saying? That's why I wanted to sit down with you and showcase that. You have nonprofits, right?
Yes.
Let's talk about your nonprofits and what they do. What's your nonprofits for? Okay,
so IGL Foundation is a nonprofit and it's based upon career development. So under IGL Foundation, we've kind of showcased music talents where we try to highlight and make sure that we're pushing them and motivating them. We are in the process of trying to partner with enough people to create that studio time so that way we can start getting a real pipeline when it comes to music. Because my thing is, if you're into music, let me help you get to your dream. I don't want you to hustle for studio time. I want to show you exactly where they actually right now have studio time for free. You can get it every single week and you can get that for free. But let me connect that back to gaming. The gaming piece is all games need audio. right? There's a voice on there. There's music on there. There's sounds on there. You have a place in there. And there's money to be made once you start connecting those pieces.
Right.
We are the
Whole lot
culture
of money.
Yes, we're the culture bearers. You got to think everything that's connected to what we do as Black and brown people, the world will follow.
Right. Facts.
And so I say, man, you know, let me show you the career opportunities that they have under here, because they're not going to teach you that in school. It's not in a textbook. Let me actually show you how many ways you can be connected just through gaming. And I have a huge map that I'm actually working on, so I could put it in my office so that when people come in, they can see it, you know, firsthand and be like, okay,
have a visual.
Yes. And then also Heroes of New Orleans. Heroes of New Orleans, through Heroes of New Orleans, it works, this particular organization works on professional and career development. And it's developing the whole child, also with the case management and things like that, working with the emotional support and the support that the families need. So while IGL is really that tech component, that tech gaming intersection, Heroes is kind of that holistic, let me try to heal all of you and take you on. And so I work for both organizations. Of course, I'm gonna work hard for mine, but I also work hard for Heroes of New Orleans because right now our kids need that holistic help and training.
Need that healing.
Yes.
We need that healing.
Yes.
Big facts.
Yes. And see, they expect, which is the craziest thing to me in the world, is they put us in trauma-filled environments and they have an expectation for us to succeed and pretend like it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? But then penalize us for how we come out. We have a trauma-filled environment. Becky Sue does not have that. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I do under those.
We got like 10 more minutes. It gave us a time. I don't know where that came from.
That's all right.
Before we do go to what advice you could share with the youth? Like, what advice you got for the youth? Because like you just said, they going through trauma out here, and it's really no help for a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? And you know, if they don't know how to heal themselves, like, you know what I'm saying, they really kind of just stuck. And ain't too many of them making it out of that, you know what I'm saying? So what advice would you give to the youth?
So to the youth, I would definitely say to them, number one, you have a supercomputer in your hand every single day. That is your best component. That's your best friend. Your phone. Your phone will allow you to research what you really want to do. So that way you can kind of figure out what you love. Don't move just off of money. Don't move off of what somebody else said. Literally start thinking, what do I love? Figure out, what are your talents? What are your skills? What makes you happy? That's one of your biggest things. Don't get to be an adult and trying to figure out what actually makes you happy. That's why a lot of people attempt suicide and things of that nature, is because they're not figuring out what makes me happy. Once you figure out what makes you happy, what do you really love, then you can start finding careers and opportunities in those fields. And then if you have a question, man, get at me and I'll sit there and I'll do a consultation with you. It doesn't cost you not a thing to have a Zoom meeting with me. So that way we could get some understanding and clarity. So that way, even if you need to be connected to resources and things of that nature, I'll definitely do that. So my advice to them is, man, first, you have to be your first believer in you. And the thing is, that was something that Derrick and I had so easily. We always believed in ourselves and we didn't give a damn if anybody else cared what we had going on. We had that driving force that was inside, and it was always there and it was always burning because we were the first believers in ourselves. And then once you have that first believer, right? Find out if you can get a mentor in that space. Find out if you can get your second believer. Your second believer may not be in your family. Your second believer may not be a friend. You get your second believer, but you recruit them. You go ahead and you vet who your second believer is, right? And then you start researching and taking steps and figuring out, how do I get myself to this next step? Because it's all mapping. All you got to do is plan, prepare, and organize and map out what your next move is. And when you start watching more movies that deal with strategy, like I'm going to tell you, Oceans, any of the Oceans is about strategy. Strategy is a mindset.
Dope strategies too. I love those Oceans.
You know what I'm talking about. It's all about strategy. Once you start having that strategy mindset, you move a little different. You look at the goal a little different. You start making advancements towards that goal a little different. And so that's my words of encouragement. That's my advice to you. Man, you have to be a first believer in you. So
Kimmie, I appreciate it so much. You sitting down with me. This is our second time.
yeah.
I'm so thankful for this, though, because you like one of my, these one of the ones I really wanted to do. And when people sit down and watch it, they gonna see why. Let the people know because if y'all don't know, like if y'all don't know, I'm telling y'all now, Kimmie is a plug. You know what I'm saying? Like she deal with gaming, she deal with healing, she deal with music, she deal with a lot, man. And she just said, she willing to help people. So give the people your information where they can reach you at. You know what I'm saying?
I would say, the easiest thing that you can do is two things that I would tell people. Hit me up on Instagram. My name is Kimmie Talk on there, KimmieTalk. That's one of the easiest ways to get in touch with me. Or email me, kim@igl.gg. GG, good game. So kim@igl.gg. And that's how you can get in touch with me, and we can roll from there.
Facts. A lot of I just got to say this again because there's a lot of people out there that already need to be messing with you. Like it's a lot of good people from the city. You know what I'm saying? And if you know what, if they don't, it don't matter because I'm about to be doing business with you. So guess what? We about to turn up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to help people though because again, especially in that city for sure. You know what I'm saying? We need it. You know what I'm saying? Them kids need it, man. It's about them babies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's really about those babies, and you know what I'm saying? I just like the way you think, though, the way you talk, your approach to things. Like I just love it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not the
I'm an
typical.
introvert too.
I love it though. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm the same way. You know what I'm saying? Like, so to see like-minded people like myself out here is just beautiful to see. You know what I'm saying? And again, I appreciate you for sitting down with me again. You know what I'm saying? You about to skip the line. I'm sorry, fellas. A lot of people about to get skipped on this one because you dig. This way more important than a lot of other stuff, just period. You know what I'm saying? And this the type of content I really want to put out there. You know what I'm saying? And then showcasing a black woman that's doing this. You know what I'm saying? So I salute you for real, Kimmie, bro. Like you be going hard, bro. And like you say, ain't no signs of slowing down.
No.
You know what I'm saying? You're running over everything in your way, for sure, for sure.
Everything, man. If they try to get in my way, I feel sorry for them.
Believe that. Look, anything else you want to promote or shout out or?
Man, no, just really follow me. I got tech hacks. Please use everything that I give information away daily. Every single day I'm giving it to you because that is the connective piece between you actually being where you are and prospering is just, having that knowledge or lack thereof. And so if I can give you something, if I can give you a tool or a key or just a little tidbit, man, follow me. So that way I can at least pour into you. Let me pour some of this stuff into you. And so that way it can fuel you to move forward faster.
Right. Again, Kimmie, thank you so much. I'm so appreciative for this for real. Like this would mean a lot to me. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. I'm gone. You did. It's your boy, Corey Caesar, on my game head shit. Bang.
For being a statistic, I'm telling you I'm not, bro. My motor loud growling. You do not want to live this lifestyle. You do not know the outcome. It could leave you with bags and it could leave you without some. I do not give a fuck who you know or who you vouch for. You need to get out more. I'm living like an outlaw. Taught myself how to scrap. When I do, I'm going southpaw.